How about them Cowboys,
Yeah,
huh?
baby.
How about them Cowboys?
Listen, who's ready for a hot take this early in the morning? You ready for something?
Okay,
All right, get ready for this. This is going to go viral, Lee DeLapp, our executive producer. Get ready for this.
Oh.
You can go ahead and close the coffin. The NFC East is dead, and the Dallas Cowboys killed it. It is over. Dallas is winning the NFC East. That is a wrap. That division is done, and the Dallas Cowboys are on to the playoffs and will host a playoff game because they are your division champs in the NFC East.
Smells like something.
I don't buy it.
Damn right. It's over, LaVar.
I don't buy it.
Whoa. Why don't you buy it?
Come on,
Why don't
LaVar.
you buy it? I got to hear this.
Well, here's the thing, right? That was a shellacking for certain, by all accounts, when you look at the scoreboard. But Philly isn't far off. Ooh. I know that Buffalo gave the business to Washington, but Washington isn't far off. I will say this. I thought it was an impressive showing by Dallas and a rivalry matchup. I think that they showed up on prime time. I think Dak shows a lot of growth. This offense is, in my opinion, it's for real. I came away with some real takeaways from Dallas, but I also had some positive takeaways. I don't think it was all bad with Philly. And if you were really paying attention, honestly, the offensive line let Philly down last night, and it caused an issue. It caused an issue where the defense was worn down, but that defense, that Philly defense was the star of the game, unsung hero of the game is what I'll say. And if you paid attention to what that defensive front did all night long, regardless of what the offense did to not assist them in this game, you could actually take away from this game. Jalen Hurts did some really good things. I was a little bit more down on him until after last night. I think he did some good things. I think that they found themselves in some ways, and it might be hard. This is one of those games, Brady. You know, you have those games every once in a while where you say, you know what, we weren't the better team tonight. We didn't win the game tonight. But there are so many positives that we can take away from this and say, okay, you know, this is where we have to be better. And I think the one place that they have to be better is with their offensive line. But other than that, I wouldn't be surprised if Philly finds themselves being a little more competitive and possibly challenging for second or third in the NFC East. And I'm not sure what the Washington football team is yet. Their defense has grossly underachieved thus far. I just think it's too early to go far and away, running away with Dallas being the team that's going to get it in the East.
It's never too early for a hot take.
I was just saying, I'm right there with Jonas. I will go ahead and co-sign on this.
How about them Cowboys?
Look, the Philly offense could only score 14 points. Don't forget. That Dak Prescott fumble, interception, whatever in the end zone, that was created by the defensive front.
That was the defense, yep.
Yeah, so I think they've got some issues there. Where early on, I think we had an idea of what Nick Sirianni wanted to do with this offense and with Jalen Hurts. It has hit a brick wall. I mean, you were talking about a defense in the Dallas Cowboys, which granted only 2 games, but coming into that game was last in the league as far as passing yards allowed. Now, they gave up a bunch of yards last night.
First
a lot of
and
that was in
turnovers.
garbage time.
Their first and turnovers. Turnovers coming in.
A lot of that was in garbage time, too.
Uh-huh. First and turnover. There's 31 other teams that are underneath that number 1.
Right. But it doesn't go beside the point that they've been giving up a lot of big plays in the passing game. Dallas has, their defense. Their front's missing some pieces.
A lot. And
they were still able to get pressure on Hurts. So it kind of speaks to the offensive line issues. So none of that makes me optimistic moving forward. Now, again, I know Philly's dealt with some injuries, too, up front. That played a little bit of a factor. But I think early on what we've seen a couple of games, and we saw some from Jalen Hurts last year, which granted a different system, but there's a book out on him. As a defender, you've seen enough to be able to say, yeah, I kind of know what his tendencies are. Like, I kind of know that if things aren't there for that first progression, he wants to get out of the pocket. if you watch the Peyton and Eli broadcast, you could hear them talking about it, kind of frustrated, like, man, you don't need to leave a clean pocket. You might have the ability to take off and run, but that's not where your protection is. That's not always how this play is going to work out best. A lot of times when you run one way or the other, you're really cutting the field in half. So you're only giving yourself half the field to work with. So I think there's still going to be some growing pains that Hurts is going to go through in his second year, kind of getting into as a starting quarterback. The system has to evolve, has to expand. He has to grow and evolve. The offensive line protection wasn't great. The defense, I think we saw some of the issues too. With up front, they're good, they're fine. They're probably one of the better front seven, I think, in the NFC. But that can only get you so far if you can't cover anyone or you let up some big plays. And I go back to even that fumble for a touchdown. If CeeDee Lamb breaks out, the ball's out, it's a catch, maybe first down. We're having a different story about this too. But that wasn't the case. I think you look at Dallas last night, it was a great win. It was a dominant win. It was one that puts them in the driver's seat moving forward. And I have a hard time with all the questions about the quarterbacks for these other three teams and the other issues they've either got defensively, as you touched on with Washington. I mean, the Giants look, even though they're a couple plays away from having a different record.
The Giants seem fine. Everything's going okay there. Don't worry.
I mean, let's be real, though. They are a couple plays away from having a potentially different record, but your record is what it is, right? They're 0-3.
Yeah.
So I look at it and I say it's safe to say that the Dallas Cowboys have a formula that I think will continue to keep winning in some way, some fashion or form. And you're only getting one playoff team out of this division.